Hello and welcome to a little Likac vlog. It is Wednesday the 3rd of April, something like that, and I am getting ready for the Sodbury Yarn Over, which is a show that is happening in the southwest of England on Saturday and Sunday coming up, and it's the first show I've done for a little while, for nearly 12 months, and it is the first ever show for Sodbury Yarn Over. I've made quite a lot of changes to the way my stall is going to be set up and things like that, which I'm excited about, but also a bit nervous about. I will be taking more stock to this show than I've ever taken before. And yeah, the last couple of days before a show is usually quite manic with preparation, and I don't feel like I know what I'm doing, despite the fact I have done a couple of yarn shows before. I did Buxton Wool Gathering last year and Wool at Junction 13, and the year before that I did Wool at Junction 13. And I've done markets as well, but markets are a little bit different because you have to get set up very, very fast, super fast. Whereas at yarn shows you generally have a bit more time for setting up. Anyway, yes, so what's on the plan for today? Yesterday I had a massive dyeing session. I dyed over 50 skeins all on the same day, which is unlike me. I normally do a maximum of about 30 skeins on one day. Usually it's more like 20. But yesterday I did over 50. So the house is just covered in yarn trying to get that dried so that I can wind it and label it tomorrow. So today it's all about getting all the other stuff done. I need to have a look at what stitch markers I've got, make some more stitch markers, like my little duck ones and things like that, see what stock I've got. And also I usually do like mini skein pick and mix, but I'm changing that this year. I've made lots of sets of mini skeins, but I have still got some mini skeins left over, so I've decided to do some mystery mini skein bags, and they will have mini skein, one or two stitch markers, and then one or two other kind of random accessories that I've got. It's just things that I've bought in the past, maybe to sell in the Etsy shop, and either it's not cost effective to sell them because they're too small, and by the time Etsy's taken their fees, etc. So I've got a few little bits and pieces that I had planned to try and sell in the Etsy shop. But anyway, so yeah, so they're going to go probably in the mystery mini skein bags. So it's the first time I've taken mystery bags to a yarn show. So yeah, I need to try and make those up today. I've also got an order to pack and take that to the post office. Oh, and I'm getting my hair cut today as well, thank goodness. I can't remember the last time I had my hair cut, 2 years ago maybe. So yeah, so I'm getting my hair cut later. So right, let's get some stitch markers made. These are going to be, again, a bit of a mixture. There'll be some stitch markers that will be being made to be actually sold properly on the stall, some stitch markers that I might make again where I've just got one or two charms left over. They probably will go into the mystery bags. Let's get on with it then. Well, as you might be able to tell, I have had my hair cut and done. And I've been really busy with making stitch markers. So they're made, but now they need attaching to little cards and things like that. So that's going to be time consuming. But I've also been getting this stuff together as well for making the mystery mini bags. So yeah, let's just crack on. Well, good morning. It is now Thursday, the 4th of April, and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Is it even 8? No, 7:30. I've been awake for an hour or two because I can't sleep, because I've reached that point of worrying worrying that I haven't got enough stock to make the stall look good, or worrying that I'm going to forget something, or just worrying. So the biggest thing to do today is to wind up the 50 skeins of yarn that I've still got left to wind and label. That's the biggest job, and that's going to be at least a couple of hours work. I've also been trying to work on a sample shawl. So the organisers have released 2 patterns, one knitting pattern, one crochet pattern for the show, both of which I think use single skeins. The knitted one certainly used single skein of yarn, either fingering weight or DK. If you did it in just one skein DK, it would be quite small. I decided I'd do make one in one of my Premier Silk yarns, one called Feste, which is this, which is kind of a pale yellow and a pinky brown and a very pale turquoisey blue, and it's in the silk base. And I thought, I haven't got a sample of anything actually knitted in the silk base, and these are maybe slightly different colours. Normally I've got lots of pinks and purples, and so I thought it'd be nice maybe to knit up a sample of the Sodbury pattern. It's called the Weaver's Shawl. Knit that and get it finished. Well, it's now Thursday, the show is Saturday. You're supposed to use the whole skein of this, and I've just weighed it and I've still got 46 grams left, so I'm only just halfway through. It's got all a bit tangled, so there's no way it's going to be blocked. I'd have to be blocking it today, and I'm going to be travelling down to the show tomorrow on Friday, so there's no way it's going to be blocked. But to be fair, don't think it matters too much. It's an asymmetrical shawl, very simple. You start off just with a few stitches. It's a free pattern actually, and yes, so kind of a shawl slash scarf. Yesterday I put that progress keeper in yesterday and got all of that done. And actually, considering yesterday I was making stitch markers pretty much the whole day, I did take it with me to the hairdressers but didn't get it out, just because I don't know, it just I would normally sometimes knit at the hairdressers, but I don't know, it just the way I was sat and stuff, it just didn't seem like I was going to be able to knit. You usually take a sock, I think, rather than something like this. Anyway, so yeah, so really it was only yesterday evening that I worked on it. So I've been working on this monogamously, which is very unusual for me. Obviously each row is getting longer now as well. Each row got longer from the beginning, but so I shall put the progress keeper in and we'll see how much of that I can get done today as well. I guess I can be working on it tomorrow evening. I won't have anything else to do because I'm going to be in a hotel room by myself. So I won't have anything else to do tomorrow evening anyway. So yeah, so those are the main things really, and making lots of lists, trying to make sure I've got everything. Yeah, I am definitely feeling a bit worried about. I had this idea of how I wanted the stall, and yeah, now I'm trying to figure out if it's going to work. But on the plus side, I am going down tomorrow afternoon so I can get started and move things around. I've got plenty of time to work things out. That's the plan anyway. See you in a bit. So these are the boxes that are half filled with yarn maybe. this is everything that I took off the area yesterday. It's already dried. Hello, Stu. And then over here we still have what I left on the dryer last night. Hopefully that is now all dry. Okay, so it is 10:30, so it has taken me pretty much bang on 2 hours to wind all that yarn. And yeah, it's looking really, really good. My new machine, my skein twister, which was probably a little bit of a, what's the word I want? A luxury, really. I don't dye on a massive scale compared to some dyers, but I have to say it has twisted the skeins really evenly. It's taken me a few attempts to work out exactly how to use it to get it to twist it as nicely as I wanted it to, but they're looking really lovely. So yeah, I got 3 skeins though in my sparkle that have not come out well. They've got there's been a bit of splitting, etc. So I've put those to one side. They will go back in the dye pot at some point and be over dyed excuse me, and be over dyed with something darker, but there's just too many bits, little splotches that I'm not happy with on those. But the rest, yes, looking really good. It's a shame that it's sparkle, actually. It's only 3 skeins, but sparkle seems to be the stuff that sells the best for me, and I really should just keep doing more sparkle. But anyway, let me show you what we've done. So we've got minis here. There are actually 5 different colours of minis here. I don't want to move anything because they might just fall off. There is a 5th colour under there, so they will go into mini sets. Then this is all my luxury base, so that is all 85%, 15%, this as well. 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, so there's quite a lot of that. And then this is silk, so what is it, 75% superwash merino and 15% mulberry, no, 75% superwash merino, 25% mulberry silk. So that's that pile there, and then that's all the sparkle I've got. That's the sparkle over there. Oh, and ignore that horrible yellow. But that's the sparkle over there, the rose gold. That is going to have to be over dyed. But over dyeing is fine. This has been over dyed. I think this might have been a similar thing, actually. It might have been rose gold. That, again, just too much splitting and went wrong. So I over dyed that this weekend, and actually I think it's beautiful. So over dyeing isn't a problem. It happens sometimes, or it needs to happen sometimes. But yeah, look at all of this. I'm going to take a break. So I'm going to take a break now, have something to eat, because it's 10:30 and I didn't have any breakfast and I'm hungry, so I'm going to make some brunch. And then we need to label and put this yarn away. Then I'm off to Hobbycraft, I think. I'm going to go to the range or the Hobbycraft. Got a couple of little bits that I want for the display. Oh, and I've still got to print out patterns as well. Lots to do. Good morning. It is now a Friday. I will be driving down to Sodbury in a little while. Morning, Stu, my lovely. I've actually got up a little bit later. I didn't get to sleep till late last night, so I've slept in a bit later. I didn't wake up till about 7:15, 7:30. And it's now 8:10 and I've only really just got out of bed and got dressed. I haven't even had a cup of coffee yet. Progress on the shawl. I have this much left, so I'm thinking I will get it finished tonight, probably. Or I'll be knitting on it at the show. Which wouldn't be too bad because it's quite a simple pattern, although there are a few mistakes. You do have to slip some stitches on one of the rows, and I think there have been some times when I've been, excuse me, not concentrating and missing a few slip stitches, but it really doesn't matter. Anyway, so where were we at yesterday? We were there. And I did all that. Most of that was last night. Oh, it's just started raining and I've got to get some stuff out of the shed. Oh. Yeah, so most of that was done last night because I was busy during the day. Oh, right, I have got to get a few bits out of the shed, which is a pain because it is now raining. I need to go down to the post office to get the float because I forgot about that yesterday. And remove this progress keeper. That's it really, I think. I've been trying to find my sample shawls. There's one that's gone missing and it's a real shame because it's one of my nicest ones. It was just called the Spindrift Shawl by Helen Stewart, and I had done it in one skein and a mini from one of my sock sets, and I can't find it anywhere, which is really annoying because it was a nice shawl and it was a nice sample as well to show what you could do with like a 100-gram skein and a 20-gram mini, but I can't find it anywhere. I also don't have a sample really for Amy's socks because I've been wearing the sample this week. I'm not really thinking about it. So I'm considering getting a skein of yarn of mine out of the cupboard, probably one of the mystery club ones from last year. I haven't done a mystery club this year. A mystery club yarn maybe from last year, and getting that wound up and at least having a sample started, you know, just even if it's just the first few inches of the leg, and having that on display with the pattern. Oh dear. Yeah, I've been wearing those Amy socks, so that's a bit annoying. Never mind, I'll go and see what I can find in the cupboard. Okay, so I have found what yarn I'm going to use. This is colourway from this time last year, March 2023, from the Mystery Yarn Club, which was Whitby Abbey. And although I don't have this on 4-ply, I do have a version of this on DK weight, sock weight. So I think, if I remember rightly how I dyed this, I think it will micro stripe. Yeah, it will micro stripe. So it will be quite good to show how the DK weight one, in theory, would knit up in a similar way on a DK pattern. So yeah, it will micro stripe, and the reason I know it, or you can tell if something will micro stripe on socks, is if it's like this when you get it out the skein. God, it's untidy. When you get it out the skein, the fact that like one half of it is one colour and the other half is the other colour. So if it's kind of roughly 50-50, that should micro stripe, depending on your gauge, etc. You can never guarantee. A micro stripe, if you don't know, is kind of like where you get kind of like one row of one colour, one row of the next colour, so tiny stripes. So yes, I have got this colourway in DK weight, so or very similar to this. I called it the same thing, Whitby Abbey. So fingers crossed, we shall see. But this should, in theory, micro stripe. So we're going to get this wound up. I did have that mini with it, but I think I'm just going to do it in the full skein and not use the mini. Because, yeah, just get cracking on with it. And I want it to be less fiddly because I'm going to be knitting it at the show. Just been trying to find some needles as well, which proved to be a little bit tricky. No, I don't even know where I've put them. I just found, aha. So I'll be on metal needles, which I do use sometimes. And I found, so for Amy's sock, it's got a very small cable, and I don't like cabling without a cable needle, but I find on socks, a cocktail stick is good for cables. I think it's just stopped raining. I'm going to go and grab that stuff out of the shed. So somehow I've got to get all of this into my car. The mannequin will come apart. And I've already got 4 of those grid panels in the car already. But yeah, we'll do it. Back seats are down. We'll do it. Right, okay, so it is 4:30. 4:30. I got to the old grammar school, which is where my stand is. The yarn show is over 2 different buildings, the town hall and the old grammar school, which I believe are pretty much opposite each other. So yeah, found my way into the grammar school. I'm in a room. The rooms are all quite small. Setting up has not gone as well as I would have liked. I've got a new setup, new stands, and the screws just keep falling out of them. So I'm a bit stressed about that. I have got a solution, but I'm stressed because I'm not going to be able to put that solution into place till tomorrow morning. So I know that I'm going to worry all night about it. Anyway, I'm sure it will be fine. Found the hotel. Hotel is fine, functional. It's a nice old building, actually. It's an old building. It's about a mile away from the show. And it's an old hotel and pub that's kind of been converted. So it's an Italian restaurant downstairs, and then above it, it's hotel rooms, but it's kind of all contactless. So there's nobody actually here who works here. Although actually when I arrived, the cleaners were still here finishing up cleaning the rooms. So it's all contactless, and but it's fine. There's a teeny little sort of kitchenette bit over there. So I knew it got a kitchenette. So, and the lady just to me, oh, if you, because there was to say when the cleaners were still here, she said, if you want like a little hob, we can bring one in for you. And I had literally decided to buy myself a pizza to cook tonight. And yeah, there's not actually a cooker or a grill or anything like that. So yeah, won't be able to have that pizza. So there's a microwave, and you know, like I say, that you can have a little electric hob if you want. Anyway, there's coffee, and there's a good supply of Biscoff biscuits, so that's all good. So yeah, just made myself coffee. I'm going to worry. I'm going to worry all night about the grid walls. Never mind. It will be fine. I know what I've got to do. I know what I'm going to use. I've got that. So I'm just going to have to get there. I'm just going to get in there first thing in the morning and get that sorted. That's the first thing to do. Anyway, yeah. What else is there to tell you, really? This town itself is lovely, really nice old town. I have got a few concerns. It's the first time they've done a show, they've sold a lot of tickets. What I'm a bit worried about is I think it's going to be a little bit like Unravel in respect there's lots of rooms, and I hope everybody finds everybody. I also think as well it's going to be a little bit crowded in places, but hopefully though, again, because we're over 2 buildings, lots of rooms, hopefully it'll spread out. I don't know, let's just hope the weather's good as well. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, to be fair, at Bakewell, there's a separate little room or a couple of other little rooms, and I know that is what happens sometimes at some of these places, so hopefully people will find us all. Plans for this evening. I've just had my lunch. It's 4:30 and I've just had my lunch because I had a late breakfast. I had breakfast about 10:30. So I've had lunch about 4:30. I did bring something down with me that I can stick in the microwave for dinner, which I might do later at about 8 o'clock. But really, I suppose I ought to cast on that pair of socks that I talked about this morning, and also try and do a bit more of the weaver's shawl as well. And try not to worry about the morning. In the morning, I've still got 2.5, 3 hours to set things up, so it'll be fine. Okay. Bye for now. Good morning. It is the morning of the show. I didn't sleep too badly, actually. Let's put my glasses on. I didn't get to sleep till about 11:30, which isn't actually particularly late for me. And my alarm went off at 6:30. I woke up pretty much every hour. But got back to sleep quickly each time, so it wasn't like I was lying awake for hours. So yeah, it is 6:45. I've made myself coffee. I've made myself some porridge. I bought some like those instant pots because there's no breakfast at this hotel. So yeah, I've poured the hot water into my little porridge pot, waiting for that to cool down. Plan of action is to get back to the venue, sort out the grid walls ASAP, and then just get everything else sorted. So that's the plan. Oh, I finished the shawl. I finished the shawl last night, but I haven't weaved in the ends because I haven't got a needle with me. But here is, let's see, here is the finished shawl. So, as I said, I think I said this at the beginning of the vlog. This is the Weaver's shawl, and it's a free pattern for the Sodbury Yarn Over. And it's a very simple pattern, really. One skein, 400 metres of fingering weight yarn. I've done all of that. It's not bad, is it? So, and I've used my Premier Silk, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% mulberry silk, and this colourway is called Festa, or Feste, Feste, which is the name of the fool in Twelfth Night, which is one of my favourite Shakespeare plays. And you can't really see the colours. It's very pale yellow, brown and blue. Very, very pale. Anyway, so yeah, I will be putting that out on display, seeing if I can borrow a needle off of anybody to just quickly weave in the end and putting it out on display with the Feste yarn. But yeah, pleased with that, pleased with getting it finished, because I started it on Monday. There is, I think there is a row where maybe one or two rows that got a couple of mistakes in, but you can't tell. Hopefully, anyway. Right, so I need to put on a little bit of makeup and get dressed. I brought a summer dress with me, which I think I'm going to wear because I think it could get quite warm in that room. It was warm in there yesterday afternoon when the sun was coming in, and where I'm stood, the sun was coming right in. So I've got a summer dress that I'm going to wear that I will just have, well, I've got some leggings to wear underneath to begin with, and if I get too warm I can take the leggings off, and I will wear possibly my fleece over the top to begin with, and again then maybe go from fleece to just a shawl. We'll see. That's the plan anyway. I've also got my lilac dungarees with me. Might wear those tomorrow. Plan is to wear the dress today anyway. Right, see you later. Well, hello. It's the end of day one. What a day. I deserve this. It's been a really good day. Really good day. It's 20 to 6. I'm back at the hotel. I'm shattered. I think I might have a little nap. I've booked a table for dinner tonight table for one at the Italian restaurant. I'm staying at a hotel which has an Italian restaurant with it. They couldn't book me until 8:15, so it's obviously quite busy, but I feel like I deserve a decent cooked dinner tonight, whereas last night I had something heated in the microwave. So yeah, what an amazing turnout. What a fabulous first day of this new show. Gate numbers were fantastic. They'd already sold a lot of tickets in advance. They had a lot of people turn up on the day. Got quite a lot of tickets sold for tomorrow, so we'll see if more people turn up as well. So footfall was really good. I got my stall set up and sorted. I obviously didn't film any of that. I say obviously, but there wasn't really an easy way to do it. Plus I was stressing this morning, really stressing, but I got it all sorted, and yeah, I'll put up some video. I did take a little bit of video, and I'll try and maybe take a bit more tomorrow morning as well. And customers, lovely to meet and talk to people. A few people who said they watched the podcast, so that was lovely. And just really, it was busy and crowded till about 1 o'clock. Then you get a bit of a lull as people go off and have lunch. Then it did get busier again in the afternoon, and then from sort of like 3:30 it was very quiet. I'm very pleased with what I've sold. It's weird because it's not like I've sold a lot of one thing, but I've sold a little bit of lots of things. So I had kind of got a bit of a target in mind of what I would like to take over the weekend. And actually at the end of day one, I've nearly taken that amount. So that's great. Yeah, really pleased. Lots of people saying really nice things about the stall, how I've got it set out, the colours. So yes, that makes me happy, makes me very happy. So I am going to possibly do a little bit of knitting. I started that sock last night and didn't get much of it done during today. This is, I don't know what you call it, like a wool keeper. That was made by Denise from Dear Designs. So I said it was going to microstripe. It actually isn't microstriping as much as I thought it would, but it is very pretty. I am knitting this as a small size because it's just going to be for a sample, and it might be that I only knit one sock in this size for the sample, and then maybe knit a full pair. Anyway, I didn't show it, it's just oh, so this pattern is Amy's socks, so it's got this cable detail. So the plan had been that I would have had that on the stall today, but to be honest I didn't really have much room to put much out in the way of my patterns and things anyway, so but that's what I've got. It's the only thing I've got with me now to knit. The shawl, I did show the shawl to a lot of people, and a lot of people commented on it, and yeah. Right, so yes, I think I'm going to do a little bit of knitting, maybe have a little bit of a nap, drink my beer, have a little bit of a nap, go for my dinner, and probably crash quite early tonight. On the plus side, I don't have to get up early tomorrow, so that's really good. I can have a bit of a lie in. Cheers, everybody. Morning. Sunday morning is 10 to 8. I've got my coffee and I've got my instant porridge. And apparently I've got a bit of a croaky throat. Yes, so don't need to be at the show till 9 o'clock at the earliest. They're not even opening the halls up until 9, and customers don't come in till 10. So my plan is, I've already checked with some of the other vendors that they're okay with me to film their stalls. Lots of them have got back to me and said, yes, that's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pack up the hotel room. I've still got an hour to kill, really. I'm going to pack up the hotel room, and then I'm going to drive to the town I am going to take a little bit of video around the town maybe, and then we will head to my stall first, just tidy that up, put a bit of new stock out, and then we will film a few of the, well no, we'll go over to, because, start again, the show is actually in two different buildings. It's the old grammar school and the town hall. I'm in the old grammar school. We've got 2 rooms in there, and somehow we've got about 10 stalls at least in those 2 rooms. So in mine, there's Fernhill Fibres, there's Cat's Crafty Bits, there's me, there's Ginger Pink, there's Expertly Dyed, I think she's called, Piccalilli. Oh, I chatted with her a lot yesterday, she is lovely. Wivy Weavers, Ridgewood Weavers and Spinners, and then another one that I can't remember their name. That's 9 of us in one room, and then there's a second room as well, so there must be, I don't know how many there are in that second room. I know Rosie's Moments are in there, she's got a double stand. But anyway, so there must be at least 5 in the other room, maybe more. So there's, yeah, maybe 15 of us in the grammar school. And then in the town hall, it's on 2 floors, and they must have about 30 in there. So yeah, so we're going to go over to the town hall after I've tidied mine, because other people will be, what we've all said we're going to do, the vendors, this morning, is we're all going to have a little wander around each other's stalls, and if we see something we like and there's nobody's there, we're going to sort of like just send a message to them and say, hey, I really like this skein or whatever. So yeah, that's the plan. But yes, there's a WhatsApp group with a lot of vendors on, and so I put a message in there last night saying, I do a podcast, I'd like to film a few of the stalls in the morning, can you let me know if that's okay? So quite a few vendors have replied and said, yes please, so that's what we'll do. But obviously the only other people walking around will be other vendors at that time. Funnily enough, when it's really busy, I can't film, partly because I'm busy chatting to people, making sales, and just enjoying the knitwear that everybody's wearing. And also, just cautious about taking video of customers. But 2 things, right? Okay, so firstly, I know today that Mandy from Mouse's Makes and Mousewitch Yarn is coming to the show, which is very exciting. I have met Mandy once before, in the summer, the year before last, so really looking forward to saying hello to her, giving her a hug hopefully, and I hope it's just not too busy when she arrives so that we can have a quick chat. And then also, there's going to be a bit of girl crushing going on here. The stall next to me is Ginger Pink, and she sells naturally dyed wools. Beautiful. Anyway, she was wearing this little tank top yesterday, Fair Isle tank top, and I said, oh, that's lovely. So did you put that on your Instagram? And it's a sample actually knitted by Mary Henderson, who is quite a big Fair Isle designer. And I love her stuff. And in fact, one of the 12 cast-ons for Christmas projects is a Mary Henderson one. It's the Fair Isle cowl and beret and mitts, which I really must crack on with. Anyway, so she apparently is going to be at the show today, and I got the impression she's even going to be possibly helping out on the Ginger Pink stall for a little bit of time, which will just be amazing because it means I can get to actually meet her and speak to her. But I feel like I'm going to be dead awkward. I just hope she's really, I'm sure she is lovely. Kelly from Ginger Pink, lovely. We had a good chat yesterday. So I'm really excited. So if I can, I'll at least see if I can get a picture with Mary Henderson. And who knows, she might even say hello on the camera. I haven't asked her yet or anything yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Depends how long she's there for, and it depends how, I don't know, confident she is or welcoming she is. I don't know. We'll see. So that's happening. Yes, I'm ridiculously excited about that. I forget that designers are normal people too, which is weird because I'm kind of friends with a couple of designers now, like Kelly and Jane Burns. And Kelly, Roro and Kate's, Kelly Menzies, I have to say that the first time I saw her name on the front of the Knitter magazine, I was just so excited for her. And Mary Henderson is in the Knitter magazine a lot. Right, okay, anyway, enough of the waffle. I need to tidy up and pack my stuff, and then maybe do a little bit of knitting actually, because it's 5 to 8 and I'm literally staying about 3 minutes away from the high street, so I don't need to leave here. So I'm going to film a bit on the high street as well, but I'm really waffling and repeating myself. Sorry guys, next time you see me, we'll be in the high street. it is Monday and the weekend is over, but I am still recovering. Thank goodness I'm not at work today. Yeah, I am definitely recovering. My legs are quite achy today. I've just been out for a walk because I thought maybe stretching my legs and getting moving would be a better idea than just sitting on the sofa all day. So yeah, it was a great second day as well. It seemed, well, sales wise, it was pretty much just as good as Saturday. Numbers wise, it seemed to come and go more in waves. So it was very quiet for the first hour, whereas Saturday we were busy pretty much as soon as we opened. Whereas Sunday, yesterday, it was kind of quiet for the first hour. Then we could suddenly tell everybody was coming over. They'd been round the town hall and came over to us. So suddenly then it got really, really busy. Then it kind of went quiet. Then it was busy. Then it was more in waves on Sunday. Didn't get to sit down again at all, but just had such a good day. And the other vendors I was with in the room I was with, just lovely. Mary Henderson. So yes, she was there. I don't think actually I got any video or pictures of her. But what a lovely, sweet lady she was. And she brought homemade cookies. So I did have a chat with her, told her about a couple of things of hers that I am making and planning to make. So she is the designer behind the pink and purple Fair Isle vest that was on the front cover of the Knitter a couple of editions ago. And I actually showed that on my podcast and said, look at this, I've got to make this. So I was telling her about that. And she was just lovely. And she was saying that she's got an open day at her studio in the summer. So I'm definitely going to look into that and see if there's any way I can get down there for that. Depends what the date is. And if it's in school holidays or not. But yes, I jokingly said afterwards, oh yes, she personally invited me to her open day. She didn't, she just told me about her open day, but I'm taking it as an invite. So yeah, she was just such a lovely lady though. And yeah, her homemade cookies were to die for. And it was so funny because she had this little tub and I was like, there was only 2 or 3 left. And she said, oh, would you like a cookie? And I said, oh, you've only got a couple. She said, don't worry, I've got another tin of them. So I took one and then, yeah, later in the afternoon, she brought out this big tin full of cookies that she'd made. So that was amazing. So she was on the stand with Ginger Pink Studio, Ginger Pink Dyer. She dyes just using natural dyes, and her colours and her palette was beautiful. And then there was Jo from Pickle Lily, and she makes lots of accessories for knitters. So she makes needle cases and things like that. And I did buy a couple of things from her. I don't think I've got things around me particularly. So I will probably show some things on the podcast. And I will show some of the finished knitting projects and things. The other thing that happened on Sunday, which was really exciting and lovely, was 3 people came specifically over to find me who were viewers of the podcast. So the first one that I saw was, oh gosh, I think her name was Deb. What's her username on Instagram? I don't want to say the Instagram username and catch in case she doesn't want to, but she had knitted the weaver's scarf as well, and she came over and saw me, and that was lovely because she had commented on my weaver's scarf on the Instagram earlier in the week, and she showed me that she had got hers finished. And yeah, so that was really lovely to meet her. And I think she said it was the first yarn show she's been to as well. So and I've seen on her Instagram that she said how much she enjoyed it, so that was brilliant. And then Mandy came over to see me from Mouses Makes podcast, and that was just lovely. And she brought a gift for me, and that again I will show properly on the podcast because I've got to confess, things are still in boxes, not everything's unpacked yet. So I will show that properly on the podcast. But she brought a present for me that her husband Dave had actually made. So if you are a follower of Mandy at Mouses Makes, you will possibly have a guess of what she might have given me, given that it was made by Dave, her husband. And I gave her some yarn that she'd been eyeing up as well. So that was really lovely to see her and bump into, well, not bump into her, she knew I was going to be there and she came over and found me. So that was lovely. And then a lovely lady called Lynn came and found me as well, and she gave me a little gift as well in that little envelope, and it is a stitch marker, a little angel stitch marker, really cute. Just show you. I'll put that behind it, you can see. Really cute little angel stitch marker made with beads. Really, really pretty and sweet. So that was lovely. So thank you, Lynn, for that. Really, really appreciate you coming and seeing me as well. There were a couple of other people who came over and said that they watched the podcast as well, which was lovely. So thank you to everybody. And then what I'm so annoyed about, because I just didn't make the connection, somebody came over and was chatting to me, and they were wearing a design, and I said, oh, is that the Sophie scarf? And she said, oh no, it's one of Jo's designs, her own design. And she opened it up and it was beautiful. Anyway, it was Jo from Twin Set and Pearl podcast, and I just didn't click, didn't make the connection. It was only later on when somebody else told me they had seen Jo from Twin Set and Pearl that I suddenly went, oh my goodness, I saw her too. She came over to my stand, and I just didn't make the connection. So, so daft. So yes, so it was lovely to see her, even though I didn't realise it was her until after she'd gone. Yeah, so really, overall, a fantastic show. Amazing for a first show. Amazing numbers, amazing feel and atmosphere. There are definitely some things I'm going to send as feedback to the organisers, but one of the organisers, Deb, was on the stand opposite me, and we chatted a lot and we talked about things that could be different next year, just to make things a little bit easier for the visitors in particular. So I'm going to suggest that they do a staggered entry, because I know on the Saturday morning people were queuing to get in, and then they were having to wait because there was obviously a limited number of people that could go into the venues at a time. So people were then having to wait, and if you bought tickets on the day, you could only buy them from one of the places. So the show was being held in both the town hall and the grammar school. You could only buy tickets on the day from the town hall, and there were a lot of people buying tickets on the day and people with tickets only going to the town hall first. So if the people with tickets, so maybe they could do something like either doing a staggered start, or kind of sort of saying your ticket is 10 o'clock for the grammar school, your ticket is 10 o'clock for the town hall. So again, to split the people, because loads of people went to the town hall first and came over to the grammar school second. So while the town hall was heaving, we were dead quiet in the grammar school. So maybe there's some way they could do that. Parking was definitely an issue, and I just knew that was going to be an issue. Parking, although they've got a lot of car parking spaces in the town is busy anyway. So when I got there on Friday, when the show wasn't on, it was really difficult to find a parking space. And even on Sunday, it was difficult to find parking spaces so I think that personally, I think they need to try and find somewhere out of town. And I know that they did consider this. Apparently there's a rugby club that's got park, but I think they do need to consider a place out of town where people can park and they can run maybe some shuttle buses. I think that would really help. Those were the two main. Oh, and the third thing is, I think it would be safe to say that some people only went to the town hall and didn't come over to the grammar school. And I think the grammar school in particular was perhaps more difficult to find. I think it would be really good if they had volunteers actually stood outside the two venues, and then when people came out of one, they could like literally just point them over. See that guy over there, or that girl over there in the high vis vest? That's where you're going next. Just to make sure people could see where they were going to get from one venue to the next. That's it really though. I think those things would help the visitors. It would help perhaps the ease on the crush, because I think it was really, really busy from what I've heard, really cramped in the town hall in particular. And there were times in the grammar school where it got quite crowded. So yeah, I think those would be my suggestions. apart from that, you know, and those are relatively minor things, or hopefully things that could be put into place. But there were so many things that were good, about it. I think the number of vendors was, you know, they had a fantastic number. There was like 51 stands. They had the alpaca. They were going to have sheep as well, but apparently there's a bit of a restriction on movement of sheep at the moment, so that's why they couldn't have any live sheep. But they did have the little sheep trail in the town shops. I think the fact that having it in the town must have been brilliant for some of the small businesses in town. I know the wool shop, the wool seller, was really, really busy, obviously, but all the little local coffee shops, etc., really busy, and the bakers, etc. So good for the economy. I also think, you know, they put bunting up, which was lovely. They had a really good selection of different types. There was lots of people selling, there were people selling crochet kits, there were people selling fleece, there were weavers, there were spinners. So there was a good selection of different types of people, I think. There were people selling fleeces. Beads, there was a bead stall. So I think that was good as well, that they did have a combination of people. And yeah, overall, I know they're planning on doing it again next year. Let's hope that there's no issues with that. So if they do it next year, I plan to go and have a stall there again, and or to apply to. They might not want me again, because you do have to apply to yarn shows. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get in. But I will definitely apply to do it again if they do it next year, and I would definitely recommend going to it next year if you are in that area. And people came from miles away, so it was in Gloucestershire, but there were people who came from Wales, who came down from I think Coventry. People came across from Winchester, Guildford, Petersfield. So, you know, people travelled up to about 2 hours to get there, and I think it was worth it. I hope they thought so too. So that is my review as a seller, a vendor at the Sodbury Yarn Over. And yeah, highly recommend it as a seller and as a visitor. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and perhaps checking out some of my podcasts where I talk about what I'm knitting. I will be showing the finished weaver's shawl, the socks that I started, and a few other bits on my next actual sort of usual podcast. So this was a bit of a different one for you today. Thanks everybody, and if you did come to the Sodbury Yarn Over, whether you bought anything from me or not, whether you saw me or not, thank you just for coming and making those numbers and making it happen, because it was great. Bye for now everybody. Bye.